During the height of World War II, thousands of German prisoners of war were transported across the Atlantic Ocean to a place they never imagined. The heart of Texas. The American military had built camps all across the South and Midwest to hold enemy soldiers captured in Africa and Europe. One of those camps stood in the scorching Texas plains, surrounded by wooden towers and barbed wire that glimmered under the endless sun. The German prisoners expected brutality and starvation. They were told by their officers that Americans treated captives like animals. But when they arrived, the truth stunned them. Instead of misery, they found order. The camp was clean, food was plentiful, and the guards were often friendly. Locals, many of them ranchers and cowboys who had traded their ropes for rifles. The men were given soap, clothes, and even opportunities to work on nearby farms. Some POWs started painting, carving, or learning English. They played soccer in the dust and built small gardens outside their barracks. Slowly, they realized they were being treated as human beings, not enemies. Yet, not all accepted it. Deep inside, a handful still believed it was their duty to escape and return home to Germany. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, a few soldiers whispered in the shadows, their hearts set on freedom. Late one night, while guards patrolled lazily under a silver moon, the prisoners began their desperate plan. Beneath the fence, a narrow tunnel stretched toward freedom. One by one, they crawled through the earth, leaving behind the noise of the camp and stepping into the silent desert. The air was dry, the stars endless. They walked south, guided only by the faint hope of reaching Mexico, more than 500 miles away. At first, the land seemed empty. But soon, Texas reminded them of its power. The heat was brutal. Water was scarce. The dry wind burned their throats. Every mile felt heavier. Their uniforms clung to their backs, soaked with sweat and dust. By the third day, their food was gone. Their escape had turned from a dream into a fight for survival. Meanwhile, on a nearby ranch, a group of cowboys noticed something unusual: tracks in the dust. Footprints that didn't belong. From a distance, they saw men in strange clothing stumbling through the fields. It didn't take long to realize who they were. With calm determination, the cowboys saddled up, tightened their hats, and rode out. What followed was a chase unlike any other, not a battle between armies, but a meeting of two worlds, Europe's war and America's Wild West. Under the scorching sun, the cowboys caught up to the exhausted Germans. Surrounded by horses and dust, the escapees stopped running. They were too weak to resist. One cowboy pointed his rifle, but only to show authority, not to harm. Another dismounted and offered a canteen of water. The prisoners hesitated, then drank deeply. For a moment, the war disappeared. There were no enemies, no sides, only men in the desert, sharing the same sun and thirst. When they returned to the camp, laughter greeted them. Even the guards couldn't hide their amusement. Caught by cowboys, someone shouted. The Germans smiled, embarrassed yet relieved. The story spread quickly. A strange tale of mercy in a world full of hate. Years later, many of those German soldiers wrote about their time in Texas. They remembered the cowboys who chased them, not with cruelty, but with courage and kindness. The memory stayed with them long after the war ended. In that dusty land, they discovered something far greater than freedom. They discovered humanity. And that's the legacy of the Texas Cowboys who caught the prisoners of war. They didn't see enemies. They saw men who had lost their way. Their story reminds us that even in the darkest times, compassion can ride stronger than hate. And that real heroes sometimes wear boots, not medals.